Hello there everybody, Sam Trains here, welcome back to the railway. So May of 2020 marks the 75th anniversary of the Reverend Awdry's Railway Series books. They were originally published back in May 1945 and I've decided that I wanted to do some sort of video to celebrate that. So I remembered seeing that Bachmann were tracing Thomas back to his origins by producing an LBSC Thomas, and I thought, could it be possible to convert one of Hornby's E2 locos into an LBSC Thomas? So I'm going to show you how to do that today, and also, more interestingly, I'm going to try to show you how you can duplicate and create your own custom Thomas faces. So you might already know that the Hornby Thomas is based on Hornby's earlier E2 locomotive. It's actually exactly the same model, just with some changes made to it, which got me thinking maybe the smokebox door of the E2 and the face of Thomas are just the same thing with a different front on them. So if you could somehow get the smokebox door off the E2 and find yourself a spare Thomas face, could you just fit a Thomas face onto an E2 and call it an LBSC Thomas? Well, let's try that. First things first, you've got to try and find a way to get the smokebox door off the E2. Now, sometimes they come off really easily. I've seen a lot of them just come off in packaging. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. If you're having difficulty, all you need to do is take the body off. This has to be done with care because there are some delicate plastic lugs which can easily break off if you're not too careful. But by sliding a flat-edged screwdriver into the back of the body, you can lever it off. And then, of course, you can use an implement to push the smokebox door off from the back. Once it's off the first time, it's dead easy normally just to piggle it off like this. You get your nail behind it and it should come off quite easily. Once you've done that, you can take your Thomas face and line it up. Now, I did buy this Thomas face on eBay because I wanted to have an LBSC Thomas and an E2 Thomas at the same time, but stay tuned because I will show you how to make your own if you've only got one. And hopefully you should just be able to line this up. Let's give this a try. I've not actually done this before. Let's see. Do you know what? That does fit on. That is so cool. Look at that. We have an LBSC Thomas. So let's give this a little bit of a run. I might set him up with Annie and Clarabelle and let's just see how this looks. This is super cool. She? Come on, Thomas is a guy, you must know that, Ernie. So that looks really awesome. I'm over the moon with that. And of course, another cool thing you could do is to take the face off the Hornby Thomas and then fit on the smokebox door. Now, I've not had much luck with my Hornby Thomas because the face seems to be glued on and I'm just frightened about breaking it off. But give it a try and let me know, does the face of your Hornby Thomas come off nice and easily? I've no idea, but you can let me know up there. It'd be interesting to find out. Right, so assuming then you can get your Hornby Thomas's face off and you want to make your own, how do you do it? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how. First of all though, a tiny little disclaimer, this is not for kids. I'm going to be using at least one, well, a couple of dangerous tools which are not suitable for kids, and I'm also going to be using resin which can create a huge mess if you're not careful. By all means, if you've got kids, do this with them, but obviously make sure you're handling the tools and more importantly the resin by yourself. Okay, how do you duplicate parts then? Well, you can do it quite easily at home and I've developed a little bit of a method. I've been testing this for quite some time and it does work pretty well. So what you're going to need is the object that you intend to copy. In this case, that is the Thomas face. You're going to need a selection of standard Lego bricks. I know that's very strange, and thank you by the way to my engineers who suggested using Lego bricks. What you're going to be doing with those will become obvious in just a second. Then you'll need a big blob of blue tack, the more the better. Well, you need quite a lot of it. It's getting strange, I know, but just stick with me. You're also going to need a couple of small sheets of cling film. Of course, that's available quite readily from the supermarket. And of course, you're going to need an epoxy 2-part resin. I'm using Araldite, but you can use all sorts of different brands. Again, it's quite cheaply available from the supermarket. So the first step is to produce a little bit of a keep, and that's what the Lego is for. So you're going to build the two halves of the mould. Now you need some way of making sure that the moulds match up together. So what I've done is I've installed a white brick on the top of one half and another white brick on the bottom, and putting those two white bricks together makes sure that you get the mould the right orientation each time. Next up, you need to fill the mould with blue tack, and for this you separate your blob of blue tack into two halves. You have to smooth the edge that you're going to insert down so that there are no cracks or anything like that in the surface, and shove it down inside one half of the keep. We'll do the top half to start with. So you shove that down into the bottom, then you make a plunger using Lego bricks. It looks like this, it's just a bit of a cube really, well not quite a cube. Either way, you shove that down into the mould, put all of your weight onto it because you need a really nice flat surface on the bottom, and then you can give it a little bit of a wiggle, pick it up, and you should be able to see that you've got a nice flat surface on the bottom there. Now you have to repeat the process for the bottom half of the mould. Make sure you do it the same but the opposite way around. So you put your blue tack blob into the bottom this time of the mould, and then you use another plunger to shove that down. Now you should have two halves of a mould in which we can put the Thomas face and take an imprint of it. First though, we need something to stop the mould sticking together when we put the two halves together, and that's what I use the cling film for. Now this works really well. In fact, I keep the cling film in at all times. It stops the blue tack sticking together, it makes the product, the final moulded piece, really nice and glossy, and it also stops your Lego getting all glued together and covered in resin, which is really handy. So you stretch the cling film over both halves of the mould. You do need two sheets of the cling film, and you must stretch it so that there are no ripples in it or anything like that, because they will show up on the final product. Then very carefully you take your Thomas face and very carefully just press his nose down into the bottom half of the blue tack mould. That just means that it won't move around as you shove the two pieces together. Then you've got the really satisfying part of shoving the two pieces of the mould together, paying attention to the white bricks that we put in earlier on. Once those are together, it will be a little bit difficult to shove those together, but make sure the two halves are properly clipped together. Now you have to shove them together with all your might. Keep those plungers in, and if you haven't got a vise or anything, you can sit on it, you can force it down, I don't know what you could do. Just make sure that they are shoved together. That will make sure that the parting line is minimized, it will make sure that the mold is capturing all of the detail that you need, and it should mean that you haven't got too much flashing around the mold. I use my vise and I absolutely crush it to the point where the Lego bricks are almost coming apart. You really need a lot of pressure here. Don't damage your Lego bricks, of course, but you do need a lot of pressure, as I was saying. Next comes the really crucial, really satisfying, but also a little bit dodgy section where you have to open up the mold and take out the original Thomas face. To do this, I just lever a few of the bricks apart using a screwdriver. Do this very slowly and carefully because you don't want to warp or distort the beautiful mold that you've just created. Once the two halves come apart, they should come apart fairly easily because the cling film will stop the two halves sticking together. You have to very carefully lever out the Thomas face so as not to damage the mold. Usually you can get it out no problem at all. And look at this, we have a perfect imprint of Thomas's face inside the mold there. Not only do we have the face, but we also have the fixings on the back of his face as well, which means we can create the entire object. Okay, now we have the slightly dodgy part, the resin fill. How are we actually going to cast this new face? Well, you take your epoxy 2-part resin, mine is araldite as you can see, and you're going to squirt quite a good amount into a container. Now, the really important thing to do here is work quickly and get those two mixed together. You need to mix them for around 30 seconds. You will notice though, if the resin is cold, that it will not flow very well. It will be quite viscous. It won't be that easy to manage. So you do need to heat it up a little bit. I use my heat gun to do this. Now, you don't want to boil the resin or anything like that. You don't want it to get too hot, but you do need to make it nice and warm so that it's nice and runny. Now, if you don't have a heat gun or anything like that, all you have to do is put your heating on in the house, put the tubes of resin on top of the radiator just so that they're nice and warm before you squeeze the resin out, and that should do the same trick. Either way, once the resin is nicely mixed, you can then start to fill your molds. Now, a few tips for filling the molds. First of all, don't overfill them. If you overfill them, the two halves won't go together properly and you'll get a big sort of rectangle around the face, which is difficult to get off, and you also lose a bit of the detail. Also, remember to agitate the mold. So as you're inserting the resin into the mold, use this sort of motion, as you can see, which will help the bubbles to come out. Sometimes you won't be able to help but get 1 or 2 bubbles, and a few attempts are needed to get perfect results. But for the most part, by agitating the resin like that, you can get rid of most of the bubbles. So you've filled both halves of the mold. As you can see, it's looking really, really cool, but don't waste any time in sandwiching the 2 pieces together. Again, paying attention to line up those 2 white blocks. Now, I should also say that the molds you've created are not reusable, so if you want to create multiple faces, you do have to make multiple molds, although of course the blue tack is more than reusable if you've used the cling film method. Now, don't put any pressure on the 2 halves of the mold now that you've put them together, because that will distort them. Don't need to use the vise, don't need to sit on it again or anything like that. Just let it sit, and you need to leave it for around 24 hours to get the best results. It will harden quicker than that, but if you take it out too soon, the face is a little bit too malleable and it can sort of distort and not fit into the smokebox door very easily. So once you've waited 24 hours, you then have the really exciting part of finding out whether or not your mold has actually worked. So you take the 2 halves of the mold apart. Again, it's the same as you did before, but it will be more difficult because the resin will have gripped onto the cling film to stop it coming apart. But you should find that because of the cling film, the blue tack should separate from the face without too much of a fight. And you should have this beautiful Thomas face with the resin flashing around the parting line, of course, which can be easily filed off. Now, here was my first attempt. This has been painted by my glamorous assistant. It's not the best, as you can see. There are a few imperfections in the face, partly because I didn't follow my rules, and when I made that one, I was still practicing and trying to figure it out. But as you could see, it worked out pretty nicely. Now, here's the part where you can start to customize. I thought, I've got some different paints. Why don't I try painting these faces in different colors? So here is one horrendous example I produced. This is my Silver Surfer Thomas. I was going for a metallic shine to his face. Looks a little bit strange in my opinion, but as you can see, as he runs around there, it is certainly an interesting effect. I don't think you'll deny that. Next up, I wanted to try and camouflage Thomas's face with the smokebox door, which produced this. I'm not entirely sure whether I like the effect here. It does kind of look like just a pair of eyes and teeth. Maybe I just used the wrong type of paint, but it's an interesting effect nonetheless, isn't it? Next up, I played around with trying to augment the mold very slightly, and I produced this. This is what I like to call my Pinocchio Thomas, or my huge-nosed Thomas. And to do this, rather than just filling the mold as soon as I'd made it, I took a dowel or an implement and just shoved it into the mold to create the big long nose, filled it with resin, and it came out looking like that, which is really, really cool. So there we have a Pinocchio-nosed Thomas going around the layout. It looks really cool. I just love this whole idea. It's so much fun making your own parts. It really, really is. I think from any sort of distance, it looks absolutely fine, doesn't it? More than passable. Obviously, though, if you're looking up close, you want to do a better job than I did. But if you take a close look at, say, my Pinocchio Thomas, this was one of the later ones I did, you can see the moulding is much better. And in fact, it's almost identical to the original one, at least in terms of moulding. You do need someone with a steady hand to paint those, though. Either way, happy anniversary, the Railway series. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know if you try this in the comments how it goes. It does take a few attempts to get it right. I certainly wasn't getting it right for the first few goes, but in the end it did work out really, really nicely. So have fun. Do send me some photos if you try to create some crazy looking Thomas faces, and let me know some of the other things that you might be able to use this object duplication method for. All right, folks, you take care, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers, everybody.